All right, y'all, welcome back to the channel. Thanks for tuning in this week. This week's episode is gonna be kind of a break from the trailer build that's currently going on. I know a lot of you guys are into that. The only reason I'm having to take a break this week is I'm waiting on a lot of stuff to come in for the trailer. I've got a whole bunch of stuff that's been ordered and stuff, some of it's kind of slowly arriving, and I wanna make sure I put together a good video for you guys on the next one so that a lot of progress gets made with it. And I really didn't want to do a bunch of videos where we don't do a whole lot of stuff in each video. I want to put a lot of progress into one video. Hopefully last week y'all got to see a lot get done with that thing. We actually got the 270 awning installed. We got the pop-out shower. I got the window installed. And I'm almost done with a bunch of the framing, and I've done a little bit since then. I'm going to update you guys on that project in this episode. This episode is mainly going to be about my other projects. Look, there's something you guys haven't seen in a long time is my kayak, the old green machine. It's been kind of locked away. I've been out on that kayak once this year, and I feel bad about it, but I've also got a ton of projects going on, like the Chevy. The Chevy's in the shop down here too. So I want to update you guys. A lot of you have been following the Chevy Build ever since I brought it home and I started doing the restoration on it. I've got some stuff here that I'm actually going to be doing to it this weekend, and I know for those of you that are interested, I wanted to update you on the Chevy Build, update you on what I've got going on with the Hobie. I'm gonna be doing a little bit of upgrades to it and preparing it to do a little bit of winter fishing very soon. I wanna go catch a bunch of crappie on that thing very soon. So I'll show you what I need to do to it, some of the mods that I did with my 360 drive. If you guys remember, I built this thing with and I'll show you here in just a minute, but my drop-in drive system is no longer a foot pedal system in my Hobie. It is now a 360-degree live scope transducer. It turns my LVS 34 for me without having to have a side pole. It's really cool. If you have never seen it, I'll show you in just a minute. But I noticed some of the bolts that I used are rusted. I thought they were stainless, and obviously they're not. And I got some upgrades for the Chevy, and then we're gonna step outside. Let me show you these two projects, because I've got more projects than this going on right now, but these are gonna be the indoor projects, and the only reason you don't see the trailer anywhere in the shop down here is because we're officially too big to have it in here. I got to a point where the tent had to go on, and in order for me to cut the hole correctly to go through the ceiling and into the tent, that's been my plan all along. I can't do it in here because once I put the tent on there and I cut the holes and I mate these two together, the trailer and the tent, it won't fit back outside. And I got to the point where I couldn't really do a whole lot more with the ceiling. I can't put a ceiling in it until I have that hole cut out and framed for the hole. I can't cut the hole until I knew where the tent was going, blah, blah, blah. You guys are gonna see in just a minute. It looks super awesome, but the rest of the work is gonna have to be done outside where I can actually have a tent up there and open it up. So let me show you these two projects, what I got going on, and then I'll go catch you guys up on the trailer. Depending on how long you have been here with me on the channel, you know that this has been like, that's the staple of my whole channel, really. Really, it was the yellow one that I had before this, but I created the whole channel around rigging kayaks and building stuff, hence the name Kayak USA. But I know a lot of you are new here and you've been following the Tacoma build or the trailer builds or other stuff, and you wonder why my channel is even called Kayak USA, and it's because this was my channel, and it still is. I haven't quit. I like doing other things, and I wanted to bring more people onto my channel to do different projects and get, different people. Like some people are interested in this that aren't interested in this, and I wanted to be able to make a bunch of different content. But I've got some cool stuff coming up this year, especially the spring that we're gonna be doing with the Hobie. And what I got it down here now. I took it off the trailer so I could put it on my cart and have more room to walk around it when I'm messing with it. But I'm gonna mess with, and I'm not gonna do it this video, but I'll show you guys what I'm dealing with. I'm gonna mess with the battery situation. So right now I've got my Newport battery here for my rear Newport motor. And I run a Power Queen mini battery right here. And this battery basically runs just well, actually it runs my Garmin. I've got a big, humongous 12-inch Garmin right here. And it also runs my motor guide. And then I've got a battery down in here, up under all of this. If I can get it out, well, I can't get it out with one hand, but I've got another Dakota lithium battery up under here. And that's what runs my Yak Power stuff. It runs my black box and everything else on here. So I think I'm gonna condense my battery stuff down into just one battery that's a little bit bigger, so I can kind of use these other batteries, these smaller batteries in other projects. This, if you're not familiar with it, this is what I was talking about, what I built. So this is a Hobie 360 drive. So this used to be, you know, where your fins would drop in and you'd spin them around or whatever. You'd actually spin them with this knob right here. But now this knob actually spins this guy. And this is something that I built here on the channel. Look, that's how long it's been since I've been on it. There's cobwebs on this thing from sitting in my garage upstairs. But when you spin the 360 drive over there, all of this is still factory. It still spins the factory gear. I didn't mess with any of this. I just disassembled my 360 drive, and that arrow even works for it. That arrow points at where my transducer's aiming. It drops down in the hole, and then I've got a built-in live scope right here on my kayak, which is really unique. There's not another one of these on the market. You're not gonna see one unless somebody watched my video and copied it, and which is great. That's why I make these videos. But this is an all-in-one live scope system for a kayak, and it works great. I use the same monitor on my bass boat. I didn't want to have to buy 2 different 12-inch screens because I ain't balling like that. So I've got this kind of just on a quick disconnect here, so I can pop my 12-inch off when I'm taking the bass boat, stick it on the front of my bass boat. And I do have a separate live scope system on the bass boat, so I don't have to transfer this. This is for the green machine. This is where it lives. I've got the LVS 34, and I don't know if I can drop it. I can't. There's a board there. I was going to drop it in and show you how it works with the spin knob, but I've got videos on all of this. But anyway, all of that to be said, see my rusty bolts? And they're like legit rusting. Look at that. So I'm gonna have to change those. I thought those bolts that I used were stainless steel, and it looks like the inserts that I put in there are not rusting, it's just the bolts. So I'm gonna have to take those off and change that out. That's why I brought it down here, so I could take care of that. I've got this kind of how I want it now. I was gonna reconfigure this. I am running the catch stuff, and I've got a full video, and it's a long video too, where I converted everything on here to the catch products. This is all catch products. There's no plastic left on here for me doing any mounting, and even the front bow plate. This is all catch material, catch stuff, quick disconnect stuff, and it works really well. This is the only plastic stuff I got, but this is my YakGadget stuff here. This is my Tim Percy's setup for the plate and the steering and all, and I kind of upgraded it myself and made a high rise with a handle and the knob on it, which all of this works great. I can lift and lower and lock out my motor here. I do run a lot of YakAttack stuff. I like my YakAttack stuff. I recently added, I think this was my last mod to the box, where I added this top one, which is great because since I run my batteries down here, I really didn't use this YakAttack box for anything except for batteries and of course all my rods. I designed these, or made these DIY little exterior holders right here for these boxes, but the bulk of my tackle was being stored here before I added that box. I got those on either side. Then I had a spot here for tackle, and then of course I've got pull-out drawers here. I didn't even know I still had tackle in there. That's how long it's been since I've been there. Oh yeah, I got plenty of tackle left in here. I need to go through that and clean this all out before I take it back out. This thing has just been sitting up there collecting dust for a while. Anyway, I'm gonna address all of that. I'm gonna try to why can't I say that word? Consolidate this battery and then the battery inside there into one battery that's a little bit bigger. If I can get me one that's bigger, you know, more power and close to this size that I can drop in here, because this is the Mini and I've had to packing all the way around it. Hopefully you guys can see all that on the camera. So I can get away with going bigger like I have here. And I'm gonna look into doing that. And then I'm gonna also have to address my wrap, which I hate to do it, man. I designed this wrap, I can't remember, when did I put this wrap on, y'all? 2 years ago? And I absolutely love it. But if y'all remember last year, I believe, I got caught in that tornado.
Oh my God, dude.
in Gunnersville when we were on that camping trip, and it washed my kayak up on the rocks. And you can see now, I think I tried to show it in that video then, but it ate up my wrap pretty bad. And I haven't really done anything about it, you know, but it's kind of bad. I'm gonna have to do something about it. So I'm probably gonna have to redesign me a whole new wrap and peel this one off and get another one. I might do that this year. If that's a video that you kayak guys that are watching want to see another wrap install, let me know, and I'll show you guys how I kind of design it, order it, and then stick it on myself. But I do have a video of me installing this particular rack. So I love the boat, I love the kayak, I just don't have time to use it as much as I want to because I like to sit down here in my basement and work on stuff all the time. And speaking of work on stuff, so this is where we're at with the Chevy truck. For you Chevy guys that are out there, if you notice the front bumper, I actually found me one locally, and it ain't perfect, all right? But the one I had on it was a little bit worse. It had some whammies here and there on it. This one is fairly straight, but I mainly bought this one because it has some of the original push bars on it, and those are hard to find. And I was just gonna order those, but if you order just those push bars right now, new, the aftermarket ones, they're like 250 bucks, and I couldn't make myself pay for it. But I know that this is a K10, and it really, really needed those push bars. Some guys don't like them. I absolutely love them. I think they make the whole front end of the truck look better. And the main reason I pulled the truck in here is because I've got to take this back apart, and I'm gonna do some upgrades. If y'all remember, I built, is this light on? I built this motor. I built it from the ground up. We tore this thing completely apart. It's bored 40 over. It's got mostly factory stuff in it. It is a 354 bolt main, factory matching numbers to this Chevy. And I built it right. I done all the insides, you know, like I'm supposed to, but I kind of cut corners where I needed to cut corners. And what I mean is not like on parts, just on stuff that I already had. Like, and I probably shouldn't have. This truck already had that Edelbrock 1406 on it, and that is like from the 1990s. It was deeply corroded. I actually glass blasted that thing and cleaned it out, rebuilt it and put it on here, but it's not holding fuel pressure like it should. It's the pressure's all over the place, and I think that it's just kind of, even though it's got new gaskets and stuff, I think that carburetor's pulling in air around the fixtures and just kind of some wonky stuff going with some of the levers and stuff, and I think there's air getting in around it, and it's causing a vacuum leak, which is causing me not to be able to set the timing on this thing the way I want to set it. I want to be able to dial this motor in and leave it alone. That's the whole reason I went with this motor, the factory. I wanted to keep it stock. Everybody kept saying put an LS in it. I didn't want to. I want a carbureted motor. So what I did is I broke down and I picked up a brand new AVS2 Edelbrock. And we should be able to dial this thing in perfectly with no problems. And to fix the issue that I'm having with the fuel all over the place, so the fuel pressure, I did put a gauge in. And I'm trying to show you. I got a gauge right here on the fuel rail. And if this thing is cranked up and running, I can't do it because it's inside right now, I'd show you. It's all over the place. It will not hold a steady pressure. I've got to make sure that the lines are completely clean also. Let me see if, I'm gonna try to show you this. Sorry about the camera angle, but see the glass filter right there, the Edelbrock one? Look how brown that screen is. And what's crazy is the tanks are brand new on this. I ran all brand new rubber lines, and there was still stuff in the hard lines. The only things that I didn't replace on this fuel system is on the frame from the tank to the front, it has a hard fuel line already on the side. It looked in good shape, it looked great. I did blow it out with some air before I put all the new rubber lines on it, and I put the new tanks on it, new pickup, everything is new. And there's still rust getting to the filter from the inside of those. So I may have to change those out. I am gonna try to address all of that. I picked up some Evil Energy stuff and AN fittings with an Edelbrock fuel pressure regulator. And that's what this guy is right here. The plan is I'm gonna mount it on the firewall up here somewhere. I'm gonna move the gauge from there to here so that we can keep an eye on it. And I should be able to dial in the fuel pressure, keep it where it's supposed to be. You know, I think these run around 4.5 or 5 PSI, and if I can keep it to maintaining that steady, I'll tie it into the new AVS2. I'm gonna use all AN fittings. I picked up some way better fuel filters. I got a pre-filter and a post-filter. I got a big one here, and I got the 10 micron filter right here. That should take care of everything that is going to the new carburetor, and we should be able to get this thing running right. Now, I'm also gonna, before I pull this truck out of the shop, once I address all the fuel stuff, I've got to address the steering, because the steering on this truck is absolutely horrible. I actually drove this truck around the block, and I shouldn't have because it's not ready to run, but once I got it kind of timed right with that carburetor, I wanted to take it down the road. And I got in the truck and I drove it, I don't know, 2 miles from here, around the corner and back. And the steering is so bad and so far off on that truck that I couldn't go over 2 or 3 miles an hour, because if I got any faster, there was no control in the truck. It was just all over the place. The steering box is roached. It's no good. So I'm gonna take the opportunity, since I've got to replace the steering box, I'm gonna put crossover steering. I'm gonna do it right. I'm gonna put the 2-wheel drive steering box in it. If you're a square body guy, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But you can take out the 4-wheel drive steering box, put in a 2-wheel drive Chevy C10 steering box, and you can get a high steer kit, is what they call it. It's actually just a crossover kit. But I'm gonna put the crossover kit in it, and it should fix my bump steer, which, you know, when you're going down the road, you hit a bump, your truck wants to take off to the left or right. It should get rid of that, and I should be able to actually do an alignment on this thing and have it where it steers more like a modern truck and less like what that is. It's kind of undrivable right now the way it is. So before it leaves my shop and it goes back out those doors, it's gonna have the fuel system corrected with current good fuel pressure. I'm gonna be able to time the motor, and we're gonna have the steering fixed. And once that's done, this thing's going up on 35s, and we're gonna start painting bodywork. I've got big plans on how I wanna paint this thing. I'm gonna attempt to do it all myself. I've never done like a full-on restoration. I have painted vehicles before, but I've never tried. I'm gonna try with this one because I want this to turn out awesome. So that's the next plans for this. For my Chevy guys, there's your update. And I almost forgot, I'm also upgrading the exhaust. Check these out. These are stainless steel headers that are bolt-on replacements. They actually will bolt right up and replace my manifolds, my exhaust manifolds that I got. These are the stock ones, which I did sandblast and paint them, but you can see this truck's only ran a couple of times, and you can see the colors already starting to change across the bottom. And I don't have to worry about that with stainless steel. These were actually sent to me from a company called Spelab, and their website is spelabautoparts.com. I'll put it on the screen right here. And I've also got a discount code I'm gonna throw on the screen for you guys with Spelab. It's KAYAKUSA, and it's 15%, I believe, off of their entire website. And they are big into the diesel truck tunes and turbo upgrades and stuff like that. So you can get on there if you're building a truck and save a lot of money and get some good high quality stuff. These things are really cool. I do think I'm gonna wait though. I don't think I'm gonna put them on just yet. I think I'm gonna Cerakote these before they go on. So next time you see them, they may be a different color. I've never Cerakoted headers before, but I'm wanting to go away from the shiny chrome up here. And I'm thinking before I bolt them on, I want to do some sort of a copper Cerakote where I blast these down with sandblast, clean them up really good, and actually paint them with a Cerakote coating. If you're interested in seeing that process done, I've never done it, and I want to kind of do it and see how it works, but I'm going to do it with these. And they send out, when you order something like this from Spelabs, you also get all the gaskets, all the bolts, all the attachment hardware, the bracket, everything you need to bolt these right up on the truck. So it's pretty cool. If you guys are building a truck or a hot rod or anything, go check them out. I'll have the links and the discount codes below to their website. But next time you see this motor, it's probably gonna have those on it, just a different color. If you didn't see the interior, I had some of you guys ask about how the interior is looking, and it is looking fantastic. I think I did show it in the last video that I did about this. There's still stuff that I have to order. I've got to get the plate that goes right here over the carpet. I can't remember what that's called, a little step-in rail. I've got them in my cart on LMC. I got to get those. I'm replacing the shifter boots. They're just sitting on here right now because those look horrible. And it's just cheap odd and end stuff. I did get me a fuel tank switch wired in, and that was super complicated. I had to buy 2 different ones, put them together to make one to work, because you can't just buy the factory ones anymore. And I do think I'm gonna change that out. I bought that bezel right there. See how it's all black? It does look good, but I think I'm gonna change it out. We're gonna end up going with a more, not digital, but it's gonna be an upgraded cluster where I can rewire it differently. That old school stuff doesn't work really well. And when I do it, I'm gonna change out that whole bezel to a wood grain one to match the one that I put over here for the Silverado. I think when we're done, the blue and the khaki, or the saddle is what they call it, is gonna look really good in here. And I'm actually gonna go ahead and go with a saddle headliner in here too. So the inside, you know, since it's a single cab truck, it's not gonna take much to do. And I am gonna upgrade these. They've got these in saddle as well as the brown seat belts. So all of that'll come in time. But for now, we're gonna stay with the running and driving portion, and then we're gonna get into the actual body work. And the bed's not even mounted. I gotta be careful when I pull it around in the yard, because the bed wants to just shift around on me in here. And then we get to address stuff like the massive hole back here that's in the bed right above the fuel tank. But it's coming along. I'm happy with it. Now we're gonna go out here and I'm gonna show you guys the trailer. I grabbed the tripod because I'm gonna put you guys on a tripod and show you how awesome it looks with the new rooftop tent on it. Check that out. How cool is that? Let me walk you guys around it really quick. That's kind of all that I've gotten done. Is I've got the tent on the top, I've got the bed pulled out of the tent, and I've got everything out of the tent. It's just a kind of a shell right now, because once we start cutting the holes, of course, I can't have the mattress and stuff in there. But I had to put it up there to get it in position so that I knew where to cut the hole to go through the floor. You know what I'm talking about. Let me show you how it looks. So how cool does this look, y'all? And I'm telling you, I started off hating this red, but man, I ain't gonna lie, the red is growing on me. It's looking cooler and cooler by the minute, but I still got a pretty good plan on how I'm gonna wrap it. I'm not mad that it's red right now. We can walk all the way around this. You can see over here, we got the pop-out shower on this side. And we've got this little breather port right here that we're probably gonna end up utilizing this hole that's already in the side for our shower system to go onto. And then over here, I got it where the rear power hookup is on the trailer back here. And I had to, as you can see, I've still got this thing on blocks. I can't put it on its axle with the tires because it'll be too tall to open the tent. So we're gonna have to build this thing completely out off of its axle and wheels. And then once everything is done, I'll be able to put the wheels and stuff on it. We just won't be able to pop the tent open out here with that, you know, with the rooftop tent on it and the axles. Sorry, I got tongue twisted there. Check this out. It's coming along, and I'm still waiting on the actual fireplace is out for delivery, so it'll be here today. Once it gets here, I'll be able to weld in those frames. I actually had to order an extension cord for my welder because I realized once I moved the trailer out here, I could no longer weld because the cord I got wouldn't reach. And it should be here this weekend so I can get back to the fabrication. This is something I wanted to show you guys, and I'm sure I'll go over it in the next video. But you remember I told you guys about that aluminum I was waiting on for the slides, where I'm gonna put sliding doors up under the sink. It came in, and this is the top piece. See how it's got the 2 slots in it? It's gonna run behind this lip, and it's gonna hide just like that. See how it disappears? And that's gonna be able to encase 2 different doors across the top. And then the bottom piece is this guy here. It's the same slots, but it's thinner. And it's actually gonna run across here for the doors to sit in and the slide. I just gotta get everything mounted up, and then we'll be able to start fabbing up all that. We'll be able to put the sink in once the extension cord gets here for the welder. But let me pop this tent up and show you how it looks with the tent open. So the plan is, of course, we're gonna do the hatch on the inside to be able to go through the tent, through the ceiling to get to the tent. In order to open these outside latches, there's 2 in the front on this tent and there's 2 in the back. The 2 in the back will be fine. We should be able to reach them just by doing this. there won't be any issue. The two on the front, I do think that this area right here, I'm gonna fabricate a ladder on the outside. Once we get all the welding done on the inside and we start focusing on the outside stuff, where gear is gonna be mounted, the water access and stuff like that, I do think I'm gonna reserve this whole spot right here for a ladder that I can climb up to get to those, because I'm also gonna either put an AC on the roof of this, or I'm gonna put a max air fan. I've got just enough room to see where the tent landed. What kind of bug is that? Good Lord. The tent stops right here. I think right in front of that, right in the middle, I've got enough room for either a max air fan or a really small RV AC unit. I haven't made up my mind yet what we're gonna do, but we do have options right there, and it shouldn't be in the way of me putting a ladder right there. For now, I gotta grab a regular ladder, and you also gotta remember that there's no axle on this right now. So it's gonna be much higher with the wheels on it. I think I've got, from here down, with the tires that we're going with, it's an additional, I believe, 16 inches of clearance from the bottom down. And I've been trying to keep that in my mind as I build stuff, to know that, you know, it's not gonna be this high when I'm done. It's gonna be much taller. Now we unlock that. Did I get the back two already? I think so. Maybe I didn't. Let me check the back ones. I did not. I only got one of them. There we go. Now it should just push straight up. Just like that. Let me set it up really quick, but you guys can already see, hopefully on camera, how tall this is actually gonna be, especially with the pop out like that. Now, I'm not gonna put the rainfly poles and everything in it just to show you, but I wanted you to see how big it actually looks. See how, if I had the wheels on it, see how close it is to the ceiling? There would be no way that we'd be able to open this tent and work on it. But luckily, I planned for all this when I bought this. I built this whole setup this year just so I could do projects like this outside, and it's working out great so far. We're under cover. It rained last night, it's gonna rain today, and I don't have to worry about it. I've got a dry space to work. And what I've been doing for the past couple of days out here is just measuring in here. I've got bars that I have to measure in between that's already in the ceiling in here. And I've got the mounting bars up here that I have to measure in between. And I have to make sure what hole I cut on the inside doesn't mess with the bars on the tent as well. So I've got to make sure I hit a perfect cut on the floor and that. And then a lot of you guys have asked how I'm gonna bridge the gap since this tent is on a rack. You know, how am I gonna make that difference? And my plan is, as of right now, is I'm gonna use either sheet metal or aluminum. And once the hole's cut, I'm gonna just frame it all together. It's gonna be like a little mini tunnel that leads from the inside to the top. The main reason that I went with racks, I put these Billie bars bed racks on, is because it gives us a place to mount other things. If I would have just took the tracks off this tent and slapped the tent belly down, flat on the roof of this cargo trailer, I wouldn't have to build this little tunnel that I've got to build. I could just cut a hole, put a little gasket around it and have an opening. But I also wouldn't have anywhere to mount the rooftop tent. I wouldn't have anywhere to mount all this other stuff. That rack is gonna provide me so much potential to mount other things like antennas. You know, I do plan on putting a GPS system on this, a booster, a cell booster on this, and we're gonna use that rack to be able to mount all stuff like that. You can see the advantages of how high that 270 awning is off this door, and it's mainly because we have that Billie bars bed rack to mount to. If we didn't have that to mount to, we'd have to make more holes, put a different rack on the side of this just to hold our awning. I didn't want to do that. So far we haven't had to drill any holes into the camper other than the brackets for the actual Billie bars bed rack, and that's it. And as you can see, we've got plenty of T-slots to work with now too. I've got 3 full rails. We've got this whole extra piece right here, which I do plan on, I may end up moving the shower back here. I only didn't put it here because of the fender well that's kind of going to be in the way. But I'm going to put another ladder on this side. And I know our main entrance is going to be on the inside, but I want a way out quickly if we need to. And I don't want to have to go, if we end up putting an AC unit, let me climb up here and show you. See how much room we got here? If I end up putting an AC unit right here and I've got that ladder over there, that ladder is not going to be a viable option for us to try to bust out of here in case of emergency. Like if something happens and we can't go through the camper to get out of the tent, we need to get off the camper and away in a hurry. Hopefully that never happens, but if we do, I don't want to have to go this way. And what I mean is I want to be able to come out this door mainly. Because we can't, once we're set up, you got to picture the 270 awning is going to be open over here. So there's not going to be access to get out of this door. If there's something here, we're not going to be able to use that door. So this will be our main exit door. And what I did do for a little while, as you can see, I even bent it right here, shutting it. I forgot the ladder was on there, but I've had the ladder hanging here for the last couple of days, and I've been climbing up and down right here because the awnings and the pop-out shower is kind of in the way to put it where it needs to go. And I've been having to step from here and kind of angle myself and jump into the window. I don't want to do that. I think I'm going to move this down here, just figure out a way to deal with it here. And then over here, I want to put a fixed ladder that runs straight up and down the side of the trailer to get in and out of that door. And if this is the first time you've seen this tent, it is huge. Now I've got everything out of it. It's kind of gutted. It's just the aluminum floor in there right now, but you can see it's got the kick up in the back. So you can actually sleep with your head down there with no problem. Plenty of room. It's got the lights. I mean, this thing is absolutely huge. I saved this tent just for this build because I wanted a big tent for the roof of this camper. This rainfly, I don't have the poles in, but it pops way out. It's even got our heater right here that I'm gonna try to incorporate a way to get the hot air or the cold air from the camper through a pipe that I'm gonna have that we can pop in right there and kind of set it up when we get to camp. It's gonna be pretty cool. There's a lot of potential for this build and I am loving it. So that is the update on the 3 projects that I have currently going on right now, all at the same time. My plan is now that I got the truck and the kayak inside where it's nice and toasty, I can work on those when the weather is just horrible out here. Even though I got this cover, when it's cold, it's gonna be kind of cold. And for the days I don't wanna push the welder out here and weld, I can just hang out in there. But we don't have much longer to go on this. We're gonna be making some really cool progress soon with the interior. Once we get the walls up, I think it's really gonna come together really good, and we're gonna be camping out of this thing before long. Guys, if you're new to my channel, I upload content like this every single Monday at 6 o'clock. You hit the subscribe button, every Monday you'll see a brand new video and you can follow along with these builds. If you hit the join button, there's a join button. If most of you guys don't know, I have memberships on my channel. You can hit that join button, become a member of the channel, and you get to watch my videos early. I upload channel member videos. They upload on Saturday mornings, usually a couple of days earlier than everybody else. So you get to watch these episodes before the actual release date on Mondays at 6 o'clock. So if you want to do that, it's $5 a month. It's nothing. It helps me be able to afford to do stuff like this and put it on YouTube and share it with you guys. It goes a long way. If you can't do that, just hitting that like button really helps out a lot, guys. So I appreciate all the support from every single one of you, even those of you that are just watching. If you're not even subscribed, I wish you would subscribe, but if you're not, you just tune in every week to see what's going on. I do appreciate the views, guys. And I'm gonna get back to work on this thing. I got some stuff to do in here on the Chevy real quick, and then we're gonna get to work on this trailer. So y'all stay tuned. I will catch you guys next Monday at 6 o'clock. Peace.